And we can just dance the night away until we get no more. I'll shake all the hurt away so you can feel and forget who you used to be. For just tonight, could you just dance the night away?
Alright, so we got this one to do. Containing this message are your orders from Elena. Take it to Drickid, the Deathblade, and the River Prophesied. It is the most important that you shield it from your eyes, especially all of the White Mantle. If you learn of other plans, okay. So you want me to take it to him? So yeah, we gotta go to Ruth Tangles. We were just looking for missions. Okay, well I say let's go. I also bought a skill. I bought a Inferno skill, so we're gonna try this one out. It cost a pretty penny, but hey, it might be really worth it. We're out here in the Muguma exploring stuff. I'm gonna start going back on some of the maps and stuff and go back exploring them because I'm not as soft as I was, but I really just want to make sure I covered my bases with all of these stuff. Oh, I thought these guys were closer. They're not. They're on the side of the wall. Web making? Web marker? Oh! It's the spider we're following. Okay, while you guys do that, I'm gonna grab this. I don't know where we're following the spider to, but we're following it. This is a cool bridge. I think I called it Charla, but I think it's called Carla, because it's got the car and then the like at the end. Let's go grab this. I'm not quite sure why we're following the spider, but we are. Cause I maybe. I talked to the spider at the area and I was just like, cool, this is a cool spider, and that was it. But yeah. It says it's a quest item, so I want to pick it up. I wonder though, is the spider a spy? Like, are we essentially preventing them from tracking the heroes? That would make sense. Be morbid. Okay. Like, it says it's a quest item. So I'm sitting here like, what are we collecting quest items from? We're moving along pretty well, but I don't think we've hit the hard part of this mission yet. Still, I don't want to lose sight of it. Oh, we're going all the way. Yeah, so this is the thing. We're following the spider. So, okay, either the spider is guiding us to the guy that we're supposed to go to, which I'm kind of leaning towards, or it's a spy. But I honestly think it's probably just leading us to him, but I don't know why it would bother doing that. Because we can see on our map where we're going. There's also a lot of jungle trolls that are over there. Should we wait for them to kind of pass by? I don't know. Maybe? I mean, kinda. Alright. I'm gonna say just keep going. Ah. Hello. I could do with this. La 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 la. Okay. Ooh, a task. Give me the dusk. Okay, we handled that pretty. So yeah, so he just took it. He just guided us to him. Okay, cool. That's cool. Okay, hey, I came with information. Yes, this residual. Yes, yes. Oh my. What is it, old man? I heard you had a son. I did, yes. Edgar, Edgar was his name? Okay, I don't know about you, but I don't like the name Edgar. It sounds, even if you're calling your kid egg yolk or egg, nog or something. I don't know. I think it makes you think of food. But it's not a bad name. It just seems odd. A good, smart lad, a little too smart for his own good. At the time, he ran afoul of bandits. I understand the bandits were white mantle. Do you? And who gave you to understand that? Shadow. Let's discuss something else. Shadow, eh? Well, it's true. Edgar was one to speak his mind. I say he was smart, but sometimes his tongue got ahead of his brain, if you know what I mean. Those zealots, no, those zealots murdered him in cold blood for saying out loud what they had all been thinking. No friends of yours either. I believe that to be true. Shadow wouldn't trust you without a good reason, and you carry those commands. I'll take you to the outskirts and let you do. Okay, all right. I think I have done this one before, but I don't know if I followed the spider all the way. Yeah. So yeah, he took me this way. I don't think I took the spider route last time. I think I just happened to walk that way. I may have found some of the webs, but I wasn't following the spider specifically. But that's cool. I do like that. Okay, so we are gonna go into the Tangled Depths. I think there is a quest that has me going in there. Let me see. Quest log. Let's see. Is it this one? Pass through the Dark River? Yeah, this is the one we need for Shadow. So yeah, I think that one spawns automatically when you go that way, which is fine. So we don't have to follow the spider if I don't want to. But I do like that. He's like, yeah, they killed my son because you can't say anything bad about him or they'll immediately get defensive. The White Mantle are definitely a cult because their level of lack of, I don't know, consideration, lack of reasons. I don't know. I find any group of anything, right? Doesn't matter what you're supporting. If you have a cult way of being of where like, oh, if you don't like what we have to say or if you don't like our way of thinking, you're automatically dead to us or evil to us automatically. To me, that's just too far. Right? It's one thing to disagree. It's a different thing to say you deserve to die for those things. Or you deserve to be harmed or be ostracized because of those beliefs in that regard, assuming your belief isn't like dangerous or hateful. Like, if you believe that thieving should be allowed, for instance, that could be very dangerous because that really opens a can of worms of unfairness for everybody, right? But say you have you like the color like blue versus green, or you like, I don't know, tofu versus steak, which is fine, right? Having those kinds of opinions is perfectly safe and fine. The White Mantle obviously are not white, like, safe as a group because of the things that they condoned, but that's also kind of like the reason why they're so hostile and stuff, and they're very full of themselves. But it's also kind of the thing that makes it always obvious in games or stories when you have them go from being completely friendly to you to being immediately like, oh, well, if you speak any level of blasphemy for us, then we won't tolerate it, kind of thing. Which is just not, very effective, really. It's not an effective way of coping with the world. It's also not a very effective way of getting people to follow you. I hate to say it that way, but it's really not. Okay. There we go. I think, granted, though, the White Mantle surrounded their beliefs in religion, hence why they're so strongly about it, still doesn't make it right. Right? Whether you have a religious belief or not, you can't be forcing death upon others because they don't agree with you. That's not civil. It doesn't even make any sense either. Okay. Sorry, I was waiting to see if we got ambushed around the corner. Yeah. When you start acting like a barbaric person over over lifestyles or choices in life, that's when I'm saying it's too much, right? It doesn't matter what it is. If you're choosing to tell somebody that their life is no longer useful, because killing somebody is telling them your life does not matter as much as my feelings or my beliefs matter on something. And sometimes there is cases where, like, someone, like, for instance, if you're defending yourself, say someone attacks you in your own home and they mean to do you harm, right? At that situation, for instance, when you end up killing someone by accident, that wasn't you trying to murder them because you thought you were better than them or that your opinion mattered more. That was because you were defending yourself, because in that moment your life mattered more, which is completely justified, right? But if you go up to somebody and murder them because you want the coin in their pocket, or you murder them because you're jealous or they wouldn't like you, or they destroyed your life or something. Say, like, some women who get cheated on will sometimes murder their husbands or their former husbands or boyfriends because they feel like they were slighted, in the sense of, like, oh, okay, sorry, I was like, what is a redwood shepherd? They feel like it ruined their lives, and maybe it did, depending on the individual and the story and stuff. But the idea is the same, is that that right there isn't justifiable, because it's like, you could move on. Your life is not over. But if someone is attempting to try and kill you in your own home or something, then you don't have much choice. You're backed into a corner in a way. But yeah, and with when it comes to, like, killing people based off beliefs, it's even stupider, because at least in the argument of someone hurting you or someone trying to kill you, you have a good reason for retaliation, because in those moments you're backed into a corner and you're full of emotions and whatnot. But to kill someone over beliefs, or over lifestyles, or whatever the case may be, or your own choices, really just speaks badly of you, because it's such a petty thing to try and kill someone over. So that poor kid got killed for, yeah, he opened his mouth. Maybe he hurt someone's feelings, but essentially he got hurt because he was opening his mouth, speaking his piece about it. Dare he speak the crime of speaking, It's so dirty. I don't know. Is there a gate into the Tangled Depth? I don't know if I'm in the Tangled Depth. I think I am. I don't know, though. I feel like if I'm in the map, it doesn't go green. You know what I mean? I think green is indicating where you need to go next. I'm a little rusty when it comes to exploring these areas, due to the fact that I went off into the desert. So that's why I came back to this area, was because I need to go back and check missions and XP and make sure I've got everything. But also, I want to make sure I've collected everything, because I may have to come back here at some point for other achievements or other things. Same thing with Guild Wars 1. Or Guild Wars 2, I really focused on getting maps cleared so that I could get to them. And it might be a good thing to do with this one too. While there's not many waypoints, having the map open makes it way easier to see where I'm going, which makes it to where I can focus more on skills instead of focusing on not dying. Same thing happened in Guild Wars 2. It was really frustrating the first time I did map clearing, because I had so much, essentially blind to a lot of the maps and stuff, and it's really difficult when you don't know where you're going, you know? Come on, everyone. We can't fight them from up here. Alright, let's go. Who's that at the back? Might be... Well, I thought maybe it was my pet. Of course it's the healer. Well, at least he's back there where he's supposed to be. I'm gonna be honest with you. At least he's at the back, picking fights with people under the bridge like a troll. But hey, he's not in our business, so it can't be that bad, right? But yeah, so I think it makes it less stressful for me when I can see where I'm going and what I'm doing. Let's do the life pods over there. I don't know if they have to be close to me. I think it's close to me that works. But even so, having a little bit of armor protection for me is kind of good. I do like Inferno. It's pretty cool. I didn't pay attention to see if Inferno did anything to the enemies back here, but I'm going to go with the fact no. Okay, so that leads to the Maguma Shade, which is different. No, it stayed. Sorry. So we can go farther down lower. Oh. Do we want to? Yeah. Yeah, I already mentioned that. I don't know. I did talk to him earlier. Did it not count for some reason? It's okay. I'm about ready to walk in here. Because like I said, we're just kind of exploring the jungle anyways. We're doing any missions that we can find in the Maguma and just kind of wandering about. Ah, so this is an actual area. This is nice. Just like a little nice respite area. I like that. Hello. Okay, you got some skills. Do you have any like elemental skills? I think I've bought a lot of the ranger skills. Yeah. Are you from the other area? Because this was down. So, did I buy from you earlier? I think I did. I think it's there's same NPC, just different location. Or similar stat block or info block. Nice. Okay, so... Yeah, let's go back out. I'm kind of curious. It looks like there's a path leading out of here. Like, if we walk out, theoretically it should be at our left. And it might lead us over this way. I don't know if will connect back to the other map, but I just wander in the Maguma. I like the Maguma the best. I think the Maguma is my favorite location on the map. Because I think it's just so beautiful. It's beautiful, it's exotic to look at, I don't know, there's just something about it that's so appealing. I didn't really like the desert. I like the Ascalonian Desert in Guild Wars 2 more than I liked it in Guild Wars 1. I could definitely see the appeal, though, for both. So the game did really good for deserts in both games, which is pretty good. That's a really good save for the devs on both parts, you know? Here we go. that one. Nice. There we go. Flip that around. Get him. That crippling is really nice. Oh, there we go. Lovely. But I think if we keep following, there might be another deeper area over here. Maybe. It could also just be more things you can kill. I'm going over here a little bit to try and avoid the trolls, because I want to explore, but I don't necessarily want to get too far. It definitely shows you that Maguma was greatly inspired in Guild Wars 2 as well. Because there's a lot of plants in both of those maps, in both Guild Wars 2 and Guild Wars 1, which is pretty cool. Like, I do like that the bamboo here is good. I really kind of wish Guild Wars 2 had more bamboo, like, varieties. I mentioned that before. I do like how many varieties of flowers there are. A lot of the greens and the purple was greatly, I think, inspired with Guild Wars 1 and stuff, and went into Guild Wars 2, which I think is great. Because I think it's really cool that the Maguma also actually terrified me the first time I played it. Because there were so many raptors, there were so many, like, just devastating, like, disasters that occurred, you know. But it's also the terrifying thought of being stuck in a jungle and having things attack you in the said jungle. Yes, the jungle is my favorite zone. On both of them, yeah. But like hot was like so terrifying because the cutscene you have of the area when you first arrive in the area is epic. Terrifying too. I wish this thing would stop healing itself. I think it's healing itself, but I also think its friends healing it too. Life pods are so annoying. There we go. No one's died, so there's that. Cool. But yeah, like I said, I think for me, Maguma was traumatizing because of the fact that there were so many things that could kill you, had killed you, would kill you. Oh, so that's why I was like, why is everything so difficult in this location? It's because everything is trying to fight us from on top of us. I was like, why is it healing? That's why. Well, we're not gonna worry about that. I'm gonna keep looking and exploring. So we came back to the zone to do more exploration. So we're just kind of running around, looking about. Like, and for Guild Wars 1 seems like they have all these spiders that like jump you and stuff. In Guild Wars 2, they have little pocket raptors. Oh man, you bring up pocket raptors in the open chat with any guild, with any of like maps and stuff who've been to hot, you'll get 30 people being like, I love and hate them at the same time, because you know that they're a good game design because they annoy the crap out of you, but also as a player it's frustrating to have, when you first showed up in the area, to get totally wasted by them. I came across a new player one time who was just new to the region, just hit level 80. They later told me that they boosted to get to it, which is fine. It doesn't mean anything bad. It just means they hadn't got a chance to get any masteries or anything like that. So they didn't know, like, all that information. So I was running around, I found them on the ground, out cold, right? Like, they were completely gone. They were about to teleport away, which I didn't know that part until after we had the conversation afterwards. And I started healing them after I used my Soul Beast skill to obliterate them, because you can use like the basic. It kind of looks like the ranger just does a really powerful stomp and kills all the raptors. I did that, and the guy noticed me healing him and said, "How did you do that?" Because he was also a ranger. I didn't know that part until I got him up. He's like, "How did you do that?" And I said, "Oh, it's a Soul Beast thing." He's like, "I haven't finished getting mine done." And he felt so embarrassed. He goes, "I suck at this game." He's like, "I just got picked on by a bunch of raptors. You come in here and just stomp on them and get them." I'm like, I've been playing for like 4 years. It's fine. like like I have masteries and a bunch of other stuff and maxed out soul beasts. It's like it's not fair to make that judgment. But I started giving him conversations. I showed him some of the stats I was using, stuff like that. We had like this little convo. We had to move it into the camp because we got attacked by raptors again, and he got knocked down, but didn't go fully down because I killed one raptor and got him up, you know. But we moved it into our conversation into the little frog hut area and started having the conversation there about, because he followed me to the waypoint since I had and he didn't. And this is before we had turtles, so I couldn't just carry him over there, you know, so he just followed behind on foot. I walked with him on foot instead of getting on my raptor because I asked him if he had a mount, and he said no. He saw me get on my raptor and was like, where did you get that? But as we got to the city, I started, like, giving him some information on what to work with. Other people started catching in on our conversation who were also lingering about. And they're like, yeah, this is what you do. And so he ended up getting a lot of information, but he felt so embarrassed that he got beat up by a bunch of raptors, and I'm like, no, you don't understand. That's basically you being Chrisland, like, at this area. You've been baptized by fire. it's to be expected. He's like, really? And like, there was one guy there that was playing for even longer than me, and was like a pro. He'd said he'd been playing since like the game had been out, like Guild Wars 2 had been out like a year or two or something like that. He played for a really long time. Lots of masteries, lots of points and stuff. And he said even he got, you know, knocked down by, like, raptors and stuff. So we all made the guy feel better because we're like, no, this is just part of the Maguma. Welcome. You're one of us now. And then we started pushing the meta, like, as a group, and we were all in the same squad. And this is later in that sitting. He was in a squad with us running the meta. And at one point, another player went down who wasn't necessarily a new player, but they had, like, I want to say like 100 masteries, so they knew what they were doing, you know. But the new player piped up and said, "You're one of us now." And the guy on the ground, because we're in the middle of doing the wyvern fight, you know, and he got knocked down, and the guy goes, I've been playing for like 4 years. The guy goes, oh, he's like, but I appreciate that I'm one of everybody now. He's like, it feels nice to be a part of something. That group was fun. They were very chatty, and they were very sassy in lots of fun ways. It's always fun to be part of a good squad in meta, and people just being like funny, sassy, all that stuff. Sometimes certain metas make that hard because you gotta focus. Like, sometimes the dragon one, or End of Dragon one, the Jade Sea map. I can't remember what it was called specifically, but that one can be a little fickle and hard to do and make all jokes and stuff while you're playing it, because it's a lot of work to try and keep up with everybody once the meta starts, and you gotta kind of, especially with fights. Sometimes you can't just stop in the middle of a fight and make jokes and stuff as easily, because there's stuff under your feet and stuff. What's your least favorite guild zone in Guild Wars 1? I haven't come across any that necessarily... Actually, you know what? I take that back. I hate Escalonia. I hate the first maps that you come across. Like, okay, design-wise, they're cool because they're all just dead zones, and, you know, it makes sense. But the level of hostility in that area is insane, right? Like, I feel so babied compared to Guild Wars 2, because in Guild Wars 2, they give you a little time to kind of get used to it, kind of get comfy. And in Guild Wars 1, no. It's get good or die. I died so many times in the first area, but I just didn't know what to do. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, no, like before it was seared, like when you have the village and stuff, that was fine. I actually loved that, like the way it was. But after it got seared, like, I don't know what it's called now. I think it's just called the ruins. Yeah, these maps here. When it got seared, It was horrible. Before that, when you first started the tutorial phase, I liked the tutorial phase. It made so much sense. But I felt rushed to do it a little bit because I was recording it for streams and stuff, and my recordings for it were like hours long, and I was spending tons of hours in that time frame. I wish I'd stayed in there and just farmed it myself, and then I would have been more prepared. Because I got out here and then I was just like, oh my god, this is horrible. So I came out unprepared. But this area, oh, I hated it. Hated it. But as far as like looks, it does look good. Like they did an amazing job making the map look sad. Like I felt so horrible knowing what happened, you know? Yeah, I was definitely under prepared for sure. I was undercooked. I came out and I had like, I think it was like level 10. Not even that. I don't even think I was level 10. Like I was like super low level. I did not understand. But like I love the map though as far as designs because it really kind of hammers home the fact that a war occurred and something devastating happened, you know? Like, I'd heard about the Searing in Guild Wars 2, and when you look at the Searing maps in Guild Wars 2, they look kind of bad, but they don't look bad. But you have to, it really puts into perspective about how much has recovered versus from Guild Wars 1 versus 2. Like, I think it's like 100 years or 200 years has occurred. It's been a few hundred years, I think, from Guild Wars 1 and Guild Wars 2, like the time frame. So recovery has happened, and so there's still some devastating stuff, but it's an entirely different beast when you're walking around in a map literally of nothing of ash, of ghosts and dead people and people talking. You know, I almost got really teary-eyed seeing several NPCs talking about how their family members, like full families, died out there, you know. And there's like that mission where you have to take like something to one of the husband's grave, because to show his wife wanted you to take it out there to honor him or something like that. And when you take it out there, he approaches you and says, "So my family made it. It was worth the sacrifice." Because you find out that he like ran off. I think it was a Hydra that he took on or something. He took on one of the enemies. He went off running into the distance, knowing full well he wasn't going to make it back, so that his daughter and his wife and the rest of the people that were a part of that caravan escaped. The same thing with the Shiver Peaks. I like the Shiver Peaks in both maps, but I really think the Shiver Peaks in Guild Wars 2, to me, wins my heart more. But I think that's just because I see more cities. Yeah, he was a good man for sure. And so, like, you get to see more of Hallbrack and the Norn city and stuff. This one feels more wild. Like, it does feel more like there is, you know, like, in what it feels more untamed and uncivilized. Like, it's not been, like, met with. Which makes sense, too, because by the time Guild Wars 2 rolls around, the Norns are probably, you know, farther up in civilization. They've got Norn members. They've built more cities, you know, stuff like that. They've developed, in a sense. I would walk out there, but I don't really want to get the attention of the centaurs. But I think that the trek up the Shiver Peak with this game was an amazing part of the story, because it really emphasized that it was a horrible like walk. You know, it wasn't just awful; it was horrible. People were dying due to hunger, starvation. People wandered off into the wilderness because they didn't want to stay with the groups anymore. Like, I'm impressed with the detail they put in with the dialogue, talking about how people wander off. There were people stealing supplies from each other and leaving, so there wasn't just a sad march up the hill with women and children. There was more complicated things with it. I really appreciated that story-wise. Because that's the thing that makes it really worse, because historically, when people have had to migrate like that or move from one place when they have to do refugee walking kind of thing, they're not point blank easy like that. They're horrible. They're not just a bunch of people sitting there sobbing. People starving, people dying, people betraying their brothers because it's hard times, and instead of manning up and joining the fight with everybody else, they'd rather think for themselves and run off with the supplies. So I think it was really good. They did a good job with the story. Some of the cutscenes are a little goofy, I won't lie, with Wars 1, but I'm going to chalk that up to just being an older game. Because let's be real, a lot of the older games' cutscenes are just goofy because they didn't have a lot of great recording tools. It's also just possible that when they were doing it, they were trying to be a little bit more dramatic, you know? So I can respect the dramaticness and the amusing things that come with being dramatic. Don't get me wrong, Guild Wars 2 has the same problems with some of their dialogue. Some of their dialogues is hilarious. Hilariously embarrassing. I was wondering who was behind us that was so far back. It's just my spirit. Alright.
And we can just dance the night away until we get no more. I'll shake all the hurt away so you can